Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher with Anthony the Hitman Florio and the Phenom Michael Bullock along with us. We're awaiting Dee Dee Woodson's arrival. We don't know if she's going to be on tonight or not. She hasn't really hinted one way or another if she was going to be on or not. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. So, we got Smackdown Live. Then, I'm going to do something, or the producers threw us a curveball, and, I'm gonna abide to it. So, what Anthony Florio is going to do is he's going to give us the Tony's take. And, Florio, normally, I know they said you got to do last night's Monday Night Raw, but I also want you to do your TNA as well, just for the heck of it. Do a full Tony's take, Raw and the TNA, but you're doing that all by yourself. You're on your own. Bullock is not going to help you. I'm not going to be on that. Then we'll have the Mikey's Mindset, Lucha Underground. We also got Ring of Honor news. And we're probably going to, and I got no RWA this week. Unfortunately, no RWA news. It's just more hype, more filler for their Thanksgiving Throwdown event, which is now 3 weeks away from North Providence, Rhode Island. So we're going to have, we'll get into, hopefully, when there's more information, we'll get into that news next week. So, with that said, let's dive right in. Let's jump it off. We started with Smackdown Live. And yes, guys, Smackdown Live went down tonight. Now, the reason why I got in really late is unfortunately I was unable to do the show because I was working. Work commitments beyond my control. So Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, you gentlemen are going to be running a two-man weave. At that point, normally during our shows, we don't like to do cut-ins on it because it's a 2-hour show, so you don't get that much to work with. But what we did get was some action. We'll talk about it briefly. Probably not much, but I will say this. Isn't it better than Monday Night Raw and the shit fest you saw last night? Most likely. Trust me, I heard a lot from the IWC. They were not happy with Raw. Hopefully they were happy with this show. We'll wait and find out. All right, so let's jump it off. We started it with, well, hey, I'm going to say it. It was my boy, the biggest underdog next to Daniel Bryan. It's James, by God, Ellsworth. He opens the show, and he also gets a little love by my boy Dean Ambrose. So, you know what? Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, go ahead, man. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, MF. And welcome everyone to Cerebral Smack Talk. Ridiculously over, Anthony Hitman Florio, the man who tells it like it is. Back with you for another edition here. And yes, not a problem at all, MF. I'll be more than happy to give you my reviews on not just the Raw, but the Impact as well. I definitely appreciate that. So since we didn't get to do the show last night. So yes, James Ellsworth is so odd and so goofy and so perfect for this awkward role. I haven't been the biggest fan of him overall, but he works here. AJ Styles using him for his argument. Dean Ambrose looking as if he wanted to kill him. This worked to link the previous weeks together and to keep the heat between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. This, to me, was the second best fight of the night. I mean, second best segment of the night, rather. That's really all I can say on that. So let me just check and see if I have any other line of notes I want to share on this real quick before I do anything else. But I'll tell you what. I mean, say what you want about Ellsworth. I mean, Michael Bullock is not the biggest fan of James Ellsworth. Michael Bullock is, he's at the point of, when it comes to it, it's basically the point of go away when it comes to James Ellsworth. And something very interesting. Oh, we got something very interesting that came out of this tonight. Let me tell you that right now. If you didn't watch it later in the evening, as well as Talking Smack, I just came across it. If you didn't watch that, we got some. We're gonna be giving you folks some major breaking news tonight. When it comes to future content for SmackDown Live, and it's very exciting future content, to say the very least. Overall, a good segment. You had to know that they weren't going to have Ambrose snap on Ellsworth because it would be too heelish. Styles planted the seed for an Ellsworth heel turn. We'll see if they go. We'll see if they go in that direction later in the evening. So that's really all I can say about it. Second best segment of the night. So now let's throw it up to the phenom Michael Bullock and a gentleman who is not a fan of James Ellsworth one bit, and wishes he would just go away. Why so, Bullock? Why the hate?
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I thought he looked really good in this segment tonight. I mean, trying to apologize to Dean Ambrose for what he did, and then of course came out and tried to James Ellsworth. Dean Ambrose is just using you. Obviously, it led to a little skirmish, and so it would lead to what would happen later on in the night. So how would everything go out? We'll have to wait and see. But segment of the night, I thought everybody did play their parts well. So that being said, Fletcher, let's move on.
And now we're gonna move on to what has been, one of the oddest storylines, I think, in SmackDown. And this is the one that kind of really needs the big help. And I don't know why. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And it is Kane going one-on-one with Randy Orton. Now, let me rewind briefly, and then we'll go into this match. Last week on SmackDown Live, it was Bray Wyatt versus Kane in a no DQ fight. Well, what happened next was Luke Harper showed up. Okay, fine. You're thinking, it's gonna be 2-on-1, advantage Wyatt's. They're gonna try to hurt Kane. Orton comes out, drops an RKO on Kane, and lets him win the match, and lets Bray Wyatt win the match. Well, when Charlie Caruso interviews Randy Orton to find out why he did what he did, he turned around and says, if you can't beat him, join him. And just lets it be. Now, a lot of people have been wondering, what does that mean? Well, it looks like we find out what it meant in one foul swoop. Because the winner of the match, unofficially at 2 minutes and 6 seconds, was the Viper Randy Orton, thanks to some help by Luke Harper of the Wyatt family, because this match was no disqualifications. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
I want to give the match 1 star. I mean, it was just too short for my liking. This was no disqualification. I mean, I was expecting maybe this match to go a little longer and we see a little more hardcore action into it, but unfortunately we didn't get it. And I can say now that Randy Orton is now a member of the Wyatt family, especially with that segment that you saw later on in the night. I mean, yep, I guess we could say it part of the Wyatt family. So 1 star on the match. Florio, it's yours.
Dee Dee Woodson is out of our show tonight. She missed SmackDown Live, and she can't review what she didn't see. So sorry. The Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, will not be joining us for Cerebral Smack Talk tonight. Just messaged her there. As far as this is concerned, I'm going to give this no rating to a dud. That was exactly what it needed to be. Orton had the numbers. He used them and took out Kane right away. instead of them standing around and selectively getting involved. We'll see where the angle goes, but this was a good follow-up. Also, Harper gave Orton the side eye there, as if he's not totally pleased with this or he doesn't trust Randy Orton, which could lead to something interesting later down the road. But to me, like I said, this is the only thing that's a harbinger for SmackDown. That's really not the only real negative about SmackDown Live is this angle. All signs still point to Orton's involvement with the Wyatt family being a ruse. I'm not sure what they are going for, but I must say that it beats Hocus Pocus or the Wyatt promos that feel repetitive because he's never booked to back up the things he talks about. So that's really all I can say about it. I'm giving it no rating to a dud. It's one of the worst fights of the night. So nothing left to say here except MF. Let's just move on to our next match or segment or whatever.
The next match of this show tonight, it was a women's tag team fight. Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch, the reigning, defending WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, and Nikki Bella, the captain of the Team SmackDown for the Survivor Series, goes up against both their nemesises, Carmella, the biggest rival of Nikki Bella, and Alexa Bliss, #1 contender for the WWE SmackDown Women's title. Oh, by the way, that fight goes down in a couple of weeks from Glasgow, Scotland. Down in the arena over there. That's where the title is going to be defended. The winner of the bout and the winner of the match, and to successfully the winner of the bout in a roughly 6 minutes, it was Alexa Bliss and Carmella, where Alexa Bliss gets the rake of the eyes, hits a DDT. It's almost the equivalent of Anthony Florio's pulling the tights, getting the win, whatever the case may be. It is over, and the winner was Alexa Bliss and Carmella, and I believe, Anthony, you lead off.
Yes, I do. And a minor dipsy-do botcheroo MF, that Bliss and Lynch title match in Glasgow, it's not in a couple of weeks. It's next week, Daddy. Next week. So just wanted to give you a quick correction on that. Now, as far as this match is concerned, this to me was the second best fight of the night. I'm giving it a solid 2 stars for the effort. It was an efficient way to continue both feuds without giving away singles matches. The match was solid enough, but gutted due to the commercial. Bliss picks up the win via nefarious means to make her appear to be a threat to the title next week. No question about that. And it's a big win here. And just bear with me for a minute here while I do have some other liner notes I want to get into. We did see we saw more commercials than action in the women's match, but I am happy that they made Alexa Bliss look strong again heading into the title match. Carmella did a good job of trash talking. Bliss's delivery was good, but the Wicked Witch verbiage was weak, if I'm going to be real honest. And well, what else is there for me to say here except they officially announced the 5 members of the SmackDown Live women's team at Survivor Series. Nikki Bella, of course, will be the team captain. And it's going to be her, women's champion Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss. And on top of this, Natalya is going to be the coach of the team. Well, Coach Natalya, huh? They must have something in mind. I just hope it's not as cheesy as their new lyric reciting gimmick. That's really all I can say about that. But, like a corner woman, if you will. So we've seen that before. So that's all I can say on that. So solid 2 stars, second best fight of the night. And no question about it. Really looking forward to that women's match next week. And if I'm going to be real honest, that match should be the main event. I'm just saying. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, Your thoughts on this women's tag team match? Solid 2 stars for me. Second best fight of the night. So, Bullock, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 2 stars for the effort here. I mean, I thought both women looked real good in this match, and and yeah, the whole witch thing that we saw at the end of the segment. I mean, it was a little cheesy, if I'm gonna be quite honest, but I like how they're continuing to make Alexa Bliss look as a badass heel here, and yeah, really looking forward to this match next week with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship in Glasgow, Scotland. And I agree. To me, that should be the main event. But we'll wait and see come next week. So 2 stars is my rating on the match. So Fletch, let's move on.
All right, guys, and then we're going to shift gears right now. And the next thing we had was a match. Now, the winner of this match would join Rhino and Heath Slater and the Hype Bros as members of the tag team 10 men Survivor Series elimination matchup. Anthony's personal favorite match of the night. He's already called it. He loved it in 87 and 88. He's waxed poetic about it many times. It was the Spirit Squad. It was Mikey and Kenny, and they went up against, they were ready, willing, and Gable. Chad Gable, Jason Jordan, American Alphas. The winner of the bout in roughly 2 minutes to become the third team of that Survivor Series squad. American Alphas. They win it. They get the victory with the grand amplitude. All right, Michael Bullock, you lead off, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna give this a no rating if I'm gonna be quite honest here. I mean, it was another match that was too short for me, but I mean, we all knew that American Alpha was going over here. I mean, we knew it all along. So yeah, nothing else for me to say. So Florio, it's yours.
No rating to a dud. Absolutely right, Bullock. That was exactly what it needed to be. A quick and solid match to give Alpha the win and get them locked in for Survivor Series. The Spirit Squad has been good since their return, and if they get a regular gig, I won't be upset. Truth be told, I was slightly disappointed that this went so short. I thought they could have had a really good match, but what we got was fun, though. I will admit that. It was just a quick squash win for Alpha. Spirit Squad duo continues to serve a purpose by losing to Dolph Ziggler, then Rhino and Heath Slater, and now Alpha. I'm not sure what else is left to do with them. But then again, I also felt that way after the tag title match a couple weeks back. So no rating, another no rating to a dud. And now MF, we're about to get into something really special here. As a general manager, our yes man, Daniel Bryan, had a huge announcement regarding Survivor Series. Set it up.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, they announced the 5 men that's going to represent Team SmackDown in the Survivor Series matchup. Daniel Bryan selects Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, and the WWE World Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. That's Team SmackDown going for the Survivor Series. And what happened next was unfreaking believable. Let's just say that. Anthony Florio, my man, you get to lead off on the Miz TV Give me your thoughts about the 5 men representing SmackDown Live, and then give me the overall thoughts about the segment on its entire scope.
Okay. As far as the Survivor Series team goes, well, so much for my theory. I had 3 of them. I had 3 of them right. I had AJ Styles, I had Dean Ambrose, and I had Bray Wyatt. I did not have Randy Orton, and I certainly did not have Baron Corbin. I'll give Derek Ferreira credit, though. Derek Ferreira did have Baron Corbin on the SmackDown Live team when he did his prediction blog yesterday. Sportsblog.com. Check it out. It's a great read. Randy Orton. I read a dirt sheet saying that him and John Cena were not advertised for the Survivor Series. Of course, Cena's not advertised because of he's doing season 2 of his American Grit show. He's going to be gone for a little while. Randy Orton's wife just gave birth to a child, I guess, and they just had a kid. And I thought he was going to be out for a little bit, but I'm so glad that he's going to be in this match. You've got in Randy Orton, gentlemen, and Michael Fletcher, MF. You know this more than, and you should know this more than anybody, or better than anybody. Randy Orton, in my honest opinion, is the greatest performer in the history of traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. Do I have to? If you want proof, I'll give you the proof. Not 1, not 2, but 3 consecutive years in a row. 2003, 4, and 5. Who was the sole survivor in traditional Survivor Series matches that he was in? Randy Orton. Team Austin, Team Bischoff. He was the sole survivor for Team Bischoff. 2004, his team against Triple H's team, where the winning team would get to manage, would get to serve as guest general manager for a week on Raw. His team won that. He was the sole survivor. And then the last time we saw Team SmackDown against Team Raw in 2005, and MF, you know this better than anybody. We were together for this. I had you over my house that night. Who was the sole survivor for Team SmackDown? Randy Orton. And he also holds another Survivor Series match win, too. Him and Cody Rhodes in 2008. His team over Team Batista. You've got the greatest Survivor Series match performer. And I'm glad they pulled the swerve here. They said he wasn't advertised. Well, guess what? He's not only advertised, he's in the match. That's a huge advantage for Team SmackDown. Huge to have the greatest Survivor Series match performer of all time in this match. AJ Styles. He'll probably be the team captain because he's the world champion. Dean Ambrose. You got Bray Wyatt. But the one that really stands out, but the standout surprise for me was Baron Corbin. Honestly, I thought Dolph Ziggler and The Miz were going to round out this team. But I think they've got something in store for those two guys. Let me just tell you that. So that's my thought on that. As for the segment, what else do I have to say? It was the segment of the night. Really great segment. The Miz and Daniel Bryan continue to play off of their history well and have a tremendous chemistry on the mic. I also liked how this was designed to sell the Survivor Series matches and how SmackDown is valuing the chances they are giving for their teams. It really feels as if they want to win, and that's the exact vibe they should be giving off. This is why SmackDown Live is so much better than Monday Night Raw right now. What did we have here? MF, what's the theme of it? What's those 2 little words that we always like to praise about on this show? Storyline, progression. Hello. So that's all I can say about that. The only question, like I said, if Ziggler is so great, why didn't Bryan and Shane put him on their team? That said, it was a great exchange from Bryan and Miz, and it's obvious to me that we're going to get a Ziggler and Miz rematch at Survivor Series. My only question is, I wonder, are they going to book it for Survivor Series? I'm pretty much saying yes on that, considering that this is going to be a 4-hour event for the first time in its 30-year history. So, well done. very well done. This is why SmackDown Live is better, folks. Simple as that. Segment of the night, and I'll say it like this. To me, it was the second best SmackDown Live segment overall. I still feel that Miz TV with him and Ziggler when they made that No Mercy match, that one in Cleveland from the show of the year at the end of September. That's still the segment of the year for SmackDown Live, but this was very close to topping it. Well done. Phenom, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the SmackDown Live Survivor Series team as well as that segment as a whole. And boy, howdy, did we have fun with this, did we not, during our little chat tonight?
Oh, we certainly had a lot of fun with this segment. I mean, we all kept wondering who was going to be the five teams that were going to be, well, the five guys that were going to be part of SmackDown Live, the team for Survivor Series. I mean, Randy Orton, I mean, that was a surprise. I mean, like you said, Florio, originally he wasn't advertised, but I guess now he's on there. And then of course you got Bray Wyatt, and Baron Corbin's the one that really surprised me. I mean, yeah, I'll give Derek Ferrer credit because I did read his sports blog, and he was right on it. And Dean Ambrose on there, and then of course the world champ himself, AJ Styles, and The Miz. Boy, he was expected to hear his name be called, and well, that did not happen, and he was not too happy about it. I mean, him and Daniel Bryan were jawing at each other, and near the end of that, I mean, well, The Miz went there. He says, why don't you go back to being with John Cena as part of Total Bellas? And that got Daniel Bryan pissed off. I mean, wow. I mean, I love this. I love this segment. So there's really nothing more to say except, Fletch, let's move on.
And then what we turn around to was a match. And the next thing we had was, and as a matter of fact, this match was for the Intercontinental Championship, which was open, which was surprising to me, but it was an open challenge. And it was Dolph Ziggler putting the belt on the line against anybody on the SmackDown roster, I guess, and Kurt Hawkins decides to take the fight. All right, fine, no problem. So, with that said, this led to a match. And actually, listen to this. And so, let's go with this. The winner of the bout in 8 seconds was Dolph Ziggler. So then he does something even more crazier. Dolph Ziggler says that he's a fighting champion, that he would put it all on the line, and he did for that title. Miz said no last week, but now Ziggler says that on a star on Raw can challenge him for the title at the Survivor Series. Whoa! Holy cow! The IC title. That means get ready for an interpromotional Intercontinental title fight. All right, Raw. The ball's in your court. Who's going to step up? Who leads off on this now? I believe it's Michael Bullock. So, Bullock, give me your thoughts about the IC title fight, which I think I know where the ratings are going to go with that. But more importantly, give me your thoughts about Ziggler dropping a bomb and basically called out Raw.
Well, first off, the match was a dud, but Holy crap. What a bombshell drop by Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he said he wants to challenge someone for the Intercontinental Championship, but from Monday Night Raw. Wow. Monday Night Raw, your ass just got called out by Dolph Ziggler. Who are you going to find to step up and challenge Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship? I mean, imagine what that would mean for Raw if they somehow beat Dolph Ziggler and bring the Intercontinental Championship to Raw. I mean, wow. I mean, this is what you call storyline progression right here. I mean, this is something that it's going to have the IWC buzzing like crazy, and in a good way. And I mean, they want to make this the greatest Survivor Series ever. This certainly helps the case. I mean, now not only you have the 3 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination matches with SmackDown versus Raw, now you add this. Man, this is going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. I mean, I don't even know who from Raw is going to step up to the plate. There are a number of names I could think of, but it's something to think about. Florio, your thoughts on this bombshell?
Let's just get it out of the way. The fight was an absolute dud. It was a joke of a match. So, no further comment on that. As far as this is concerned, you heard me clapping in the background just a bit ago. I freaking love it. Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. They're going all out for Survivor Series. For the first time in so long, they're making this event feel prestigious. They're making, it's got an old school feel to it, which I love. I mean, they usually when it comes to the major events, this is the one that usually gets the least fanfare, which I don't get, honestly. I mean, I understand about WrestleMania. I understand about SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble, so it's because the Rumble kickstarts the road to WrestleMania. I get all that. But for the first time, and I can't remember how many years, we've got a big event feel for Survivor Series. First time ever, it's going to be 4 hours. We've got the 3 traditional Survivor Series matches with Raw against SmackDown Live. You got Bill Goldberg going up against Brock Lesnar. And now you got this. Dolph Ziggler saying, I'll defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against anybody from Monday Night Raw. Well, being the Raw guy that I am, honestly, I wish I had the authority to say, I formally accept the challenge, but I don't have that authority, unfortunately. But if I did, I would say, hell yes, you're on, Ziggler. I respect you, and I love it. I have 2 names in mind. There are 2. The first name, Rusev. He's the front runner to me. My gut is telling me Rusev is going to be the man who accepts Dolph Ziggler's challenge for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Florio, is that we've already seen this feud before.
I have another name bullet. That was that one is that's the one I have in my gut. My heart, and who I honestly want to see challenge Dolph Ziggler. I mean, the Rusev thing would be fine, but there's one guy on Raw who I would love to see go up against Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And if it ends up being this guy, we're talking about an instant classic here, friends. How about the underdog of the underground, Sami Zayn? Wouldn't you like to see that?
Yes.
How would you like to see Sami Zayn challenge Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series?
He deserves this opportunity.
Right? Come on. I mean, that's how I honestly feel about it. I mean, though it's one of those two guys. Honestly, that's who I feel
But
it
it
is.
should be Sami Zayn. I mean, if they don't consider that, then what the hell is Monday Night Raw thinking?
Well, I'll get into that later on when I do my Monday Night Raw review as part of a special Tony's take here on Cerebral Smack Talk tonight. But nothing left for me to say except the match was a joke. And as far as Ziggler's announcement goes, abso-freaking-lutely love it. Now WWE, the ball's in your court. Who are you gonna have? The gut's telling me Rusev, but the heart's telling me Sami Zayn. Rusev and Ziggler would be a solid, okay fight at best. But if you give us Zayn and Ziggler, somebody call the sheriff because them boys are gonna steal the show. That's all there is to say on that. Awesome. Let's move on, MF.
All right. So next up, we had another qualifying match for the Survivor Series. This is for the tag team. It was the Usos versus the Headbangers. The winner of the bout was the Usos at 1:35. So now look at the squad that you got going to Survivor Series for Team Smackdown. We got is the WWE Smackdown Tag Team Champions, Heath Slater and Rhino. We have the Hype Bros, Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. We got American Alpha, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. And now, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. That is team number 4 of 5 that will be a part of the Survivor Series squad for Team SmackDown, for SmackDown Live. And I believe, Anthony Florio, you lead off. So, Florio, go ahead.
Tag match was quick and painless. Not much to it. It didn't have the energy of the Alpha Spirit Squad match. It never felt as if they quite got on the same page, as it was really rushed. Obviously the right result, but it felt off to me. 1:35 seconds. No rating to an absolute dud. This to me was the worst fight of the night, in all honesty. Good to see the Headbangers, though. I mean, it was good to see them for, a nostalgic feel. But this is 2016, not 1997. Sorry. I like the SmackDown Live tag teams for the Survivor Series. We got one more to go. Since the Ascension already lost out, I'm guessing the Vaudevillains. I think the Vaudevillains are gonna be the fifth and final team. That's just how I feel about it. So, and on Raw, you have the New Day for now. So, but don't worry, you'll get Enzo and Cass, you'll get Gallows and Andrew, you get Cesaro and Sheamus, maybe the Shining Stars, but that'll develop over the next few weeks. So with all that being said, no rating to a dud. Worst fight of the night for me. Right result. So with that being said, Bullet, quick thought on this.
Well, before I give you my quick thought, I have a scoring update from Game 6 of the World Series. The Chicago Cubs are now up 9-2, thanks to a 2-run home run by Anthony Rizzo. So, well, fellas, I guess we can say the 2 most famous words in American sports. What are those 2 words, Florio?
Game 7. And I think it would be only fitting if MF gives us his famous little words on that. Those, I believe, 5 or 6 little words that Jack Buck made famous 25 years ago.
Well, I won't utter it until the game is officially over. So,
it's in the top of the ninth right now.
You ain't getting it from me right now, Florio. I'm not gonna say it, not yet.
Well, when I say it's fine, when I officially give it saying it's final, that's when I'll let you say it, Fletch. But right now it's looking like it's gonna be a Game 7 tomorrow night. So yes, as far as the match goes, yeah, this was an absolute dud. Yeah, we knew the Usos were gonna be part of the SmackDown Live tag team traditional Survivor Series elimination match. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Fletch, let's move on.
All right, guys, and we got right into our main event of the evening. It was a non-title fight. It was AJ Styles, the champion, versus Dean Ambrose. This was a rematch from literally last week, and this time around, they actually did say that Ambrose the winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Dean Ambrose, he wins the match. Basically what happened was, well, James Ellsworth was supposedly kicked out of the building by Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose did not want him in the building because he didn't want to mess anything up. Well, guess what? Somebody forgot to tell Ellsworth that he got kicked out because he showed up and helped Ambrose get the win. Well, nothing more to say. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Well, we can say that that this was the fight of the night here. I'll give it about 3.5 stars is my rating on 3 to 3.5 stars is my rating on the match. I mean, the match was really good. There's no doubt about it, but it was just the interference by James Ellsworth, I thought, took a little bit away from it. But all in all, it was a good match for what it was, and now Dean Ambrose is now the #1 contender for the World Championship. When will that happen? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But 3 to 3.5 stars is my rating. Flory, what's yours?
Okay. Slight overscoring, Bullock. Slight, keyword slight. You overscored it just a smidge. I agree with you. It was the fight of the night, far and away. Absolutely. 3.25 stars is my rating for it. While not as good as their last match on Smackdown, these two continue to work well together and have locked into some things that have come off very well and effortlessly. They have developed a good chemistry, and Styles seems to bring out Ambrose's best. Ambrose did well early as he was constantly going for pins, submissions, and generally throwing caution to the wind because this was his last chance to earn a title shot. The Ellsworth stuff feels silly on one hand, but the end game was the little guy giving himself up to pay back Ambrose and to keep his only friend. They have created an oddly lovable little goofball here, and it worked. Good match, yet I can't help but feel, at the same time, I can't help but feel like the Styles-Ambrose feud has been overexposed. The drama with Ellsworth was fun. He ended the night a babyface, but he became such a pest that they could turn him and add him to AJ's act, and people would actually buy it. Is he obsessed with helping Ambrose or becoming obsessed with Ambrose? If Ambrose rejects him, will that be all it takes for him to turn and help Styles instead? Okay, fine. The Ellsworth dynamic is keeping me engaged in the overexposed program. So that's all I can say. And Michael Bullock, you said, when will this title match go down? Well, guess what? I know when it's going down.
Whoa! Slam the brakes. I got it.
And okay. Well.
Wait a minute. I think.
Michael,
Florio. I think I know where you're going with this.
Let MF get to it. Fight of the night, 3.25 stars. All right, MF. Inquiring minds want to know, when is this AJ Styles Dean Ambrose World Title match going down? We've got a date.
We do have a date, and it is going down. During Talking Smack, Shane McMahon, the general manager, well, actually not the general manager, the commissioner of the SmackDown Live program, made the announcement, and ladies and gentlemen, it is going down Sunday night, December 4, Dallas, Texas, at the AAC, the American Airlines Center. It is going to be Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles for the WWE World Title in TLC, in a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Whoa!
Oh my!
Holy moly.
Jump on that. Food for thought. Early predictions, early thoughts.
Wow.
AJ Styles successfully defends because I think AJ Styles is going to keep that thing until WrestleMania. And I think at WrestleMania, he's going to finally lose it. And he's going to lose it to a certain champ, if you know what I mean, who's looking to be on the cusp of history. That's just how I feel about that. Now, as far as the overall match is concerned, that is going to be one hell of a match. They're going to steal the show in Dallas. It's going to be an instant classic. It's going to be the fight of the night come TLC. But like I said, my early projection is AJ Styles will successfully defend the WWE World Championship.
Michael Bullock, go ahead, jump in.
Man, oh man. This is going to be a fun match, but I do have AJ Styles retaining the title as well, and I do agree. I think he's going to hold on to that title until WrestleMania. So that's just how I feel about it. But man, oh man, tables, ladders, and chairs. Whew, that is going to be something. Fletch, let's just move on.
All right, overall review time, and I believe this one does get to Anthony Florio. So, Tony, it's yours, man. What did you think about tonight's SmackDown Live?
I'm going to give a rating I usually never give on this show, but I'm going to do it anyway. 7 3/4 out of 10 tonight is my official rating for the show. 7 3/4. This was another good and strong effort from SmackDown. The focus was on Survivor Series. They are working to build their teams and have also locked in on making you feel that they really want to win those matches as if it were an actual real and meaningful competition. That is a great thing. If they act as if these things mean something, then the fans will believe that it means something. SmackDown Live continues to be a focused as well as a fun show. They are also making things that shouldn't work or things I may normally hate and making them work on some level. All the little parts may not be great on their own, but when they all work towards the common goal and they skip the unnecessary filler, it all comes together in a great package. Keep up the good work, SmackDown Live. This is why you're far and away better than that toilet bowl on Monday nights. So 7 3/4 out of 10. Michael Bullock, what says you?
I agree. 7 3/4 out of 10. This is why SmackDown Live continues to be better than Monday Night Raw, because of the storyline progressions. I mean, yes, there were only a couple of matches that were really good, but the storyline progressions is the reason why it gives us reason to watch SmackDown Live. So yeah, so 7 3/4 out of 10. So Fletch, I don't know should we do Tony's take first?
We actually will do the Tony's take. Normally on Monday night, you get to see, during Ridiculously Raw, Anthony Florio does his Tony's take. He, talks about TNA and, and then wraps up for the night on, after we do the Monday Night Raw review. Unfortunately, as many of you guys know, last night was Halloween, so the producers of the show gave us a night off. The show was preempted, so we couldn't do nothing. All right, cool. But earlier today, or before the night was over, earlier today, I got a text message from one of the producers saying, hey, the producers decided that they want Anthony to do the Monday Night Raw thing, so we're going to let Anthony run the Raw. I have actually gone to the producers themselves. So Derek does not actually know this. So Ferreira, don't worry, it's cool. I got the okay from them, and I guess they got to you, and so executive decision, because I'm the one running Cerebral Smack Talk. So we're giving them the full Tony's take. So Anthony, you got the Monday Night Raw and your TNA review. If you are ready,
I am.
It is all yours, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tony's take.
All right, and I want to say I'm very grateful to the producers for allowing me to share this with you all here tonight. It's definitely a warranted decision, a necessary decision, and I am grateful that I'm getting my chance to share it. I actually prepared a Raw review last night, but I'm like, what's the point? But good thing I didn't throw it away. I'm glad I got it right here. So wonderful. I'm glad I'm getting my opportunity here. Ridiculously Raw is invading Cerebral Smack Talk here tonight. So all right, let's get into this. Monday Night Raw was live last night from the Elite Excel Center, formerly the Hartford Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut, exclusively on the USA Network. We started it off with an in-ring segment with Bill Goldberg, interrupted by Paul Heyman. He teased an appearance by Brock Lesnar, and then Rusev interrupts and gets in his face, and then Goldberg jackhammers Rusev, and then a spear to Paul Heyman. One of my highlights of the night here. I am all for Goldberg getting to lay out some low-level heel. Unfortunately, they used Rusev for the spot. Rusev, the guy that lost at Sunday night's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and needed something to get him some heat and momentum back. Instead, he got to eat the jackhammer from Goldberg. No worries, guys. Rusev will be allowed to get his heat back, just like he did that time with The Rock. Yeah, right. Everyone told me that was fine as well. I am not going to allow a few knee strikes to freak me out. But Goldberg looked rough there timing-wise. Get him down to the Performance Center with Curtis Axel or something. But seriously, was Titus O'Neil busy showering from his latest crap fight on Superstars to take a beating? Please. Now we move on to our first match of the night. It was a trick or street fight in terms of Halloween. We had Luke Gallows one-on-one with Enzo Amore. Their respective partners, Carl Anderson and Big Cass, were out there. Let me tell you something. Michael Bullock and I had a lot of fun during the pre-match because there was a line during this where, and Bullock, you know where I'm going with this because we had a humongous laugh riot out of this. You remember last night when Big Cass was talking about Luke Gallows saying, I wonder if you have the malted milk balls underneath those leather bell bottoms to go up against, to face and to go toe-to-toe with Zoe. Or do you just have a little candy corn? Oh, yes, that was freaking awesome. Myself and Bullock absolutely lost our minds in hysterical laughter. We couldn't believe it. And that's why Enzo and Cass are the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team, after all. But getting to the match, Enzo Amore wins the match in 8 minutes and 1 second. 1.5 stars. I am thrilled that Anderson and Gallows did months of bad comedy in order to finally get serious and put the division on notice, leading to a desperately needed win last night so that they could be treated like complete idiots here. I get making heels look silly in a holiday-themed, shenanigans-filled match, but did you have to do it with the guys that got their first momentum in months just Sunday night? No, you didn't. Isn't that what the Shining Stars and the Golden Truth are for? That's all I can say on that. Then we had a Cruiserweight Championship rematch. The Brian Kendrick in his first title defense against challenger and former champion T.J. Perkins, invoking his rematch clause. Winner of the match via a countout in 6 minutes and 25 seconds, T.J. Perkins. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. It was a solid but unspectacular match. Just when it felt as if it was heating up, they went to the cop-out finish. Brian Kendrick came off smart again. Perkins, not so much, and this feud must continue. I hope that they address Rick Swan's win from last week. Maybe we could get a new guy in the mix here. Then we go to the in-ring segment with Mick Foley talking about Hell in a Cell, the controversy with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. And then he was interrupted by Kevin Owens, the Universal Champion, and Chris Jericho. And then the United States Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, another funny moment during last night's show that Bullock and I got a kick out of, when Roman Reigns referred to Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho as SpongeBob and Patrick. Oh, that was great. This, to me, was the segment of the night. It was not a bad segment. They set up a match for later and set guys for the Raw vs. SmackDown main Survivor Series match. Foley was fine, but Owens and Jericho came off much better, and the crowd just absolutely loved Chris Jericho. So it was announced that Universal Champion Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, and United States Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns will all be representing Team Raw for the traditional Survivor Series elimination match, the 5-on-5 with the men for the Raw vs. SmackDown Live, the big Survivor Series match. So there's 3 right there. The next spot is going to go to the winner of a Battle Royal, or as MF likes to call it, a Battle Royale. And the winner of this battle royal would qualify and would join Reigns, Owens, and Jericho on Team Raw for Survivor Series. The winner of the battle royale in 7 minutes and 50 seconds, Braun Strowman. Yes, Braun Strowman is going to be a part of the Team Raw at Survivor Series. I'm going to give this another 2.5 stars. This was more fun than a regular battle royal, mainly due to Strowman murdering guys and how Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, and some of them bumped for him. Solid effort. That's all I can say about that. So Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, 1 spot left. We'll get into that later. Then you had a backstage segment with the New Day. We're not going to get into that. Then we had a second cruiserweight match. This was another return match from Hell in a Cell. We had Rich Swann, Lince Dorado, and Cedric Alexander going up against Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Arya Daivari. The winners of the match in 5.5 minutes, Rich Swann, Lince Dorado, and Cedric Alexander. 2 3/4 stars here. They got less time than the previous 6-man, but this was exactly what it needed to be. It was a fun match that allowed Swann to pick up another victory and add to his momentum from last week, where he defeated Kendrick, who is now the champion. My only real complaint is that Swann should have used his finishing move. They need to establish a lot with all of these new faces. And along with personalities, signature moves are things the fans need to know. But I still like the match, though. Then we had another in-ring segment. We had the new Raw Women's Champion, the three-peater, Charlotte, the Queen, coming out. And she announces that she is going to be the team captain of the Raw Women's team at Survivor Series. And she announced that Bayley is going to be on the team, called her a weak link. And then she says that she's going to go up against one of our Survivor Series teammates, Nia Jax. So we got 3 members of the Raw Women's team. Women's champion Charlotte, Bayley, and Nia Jax. And the winner of this match with Jax and Bayley, Nia Jax won the match in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, here's my thoughts on the segment. Some weeks, Charlotte is really good. And then there are weeks like this. And that's not her fault. The whole thing felt way overproduced. The verbiage never felt like the way real people talk. And then there was the weak link deal that was completely manufactured out of nowhere. Have they already forgotten that Bayley beat Charlotte on Raw some time ago? That she won on pay-per-view Sunday night against Dana Brooke? Just have Charlotte be a biatch and say that Bayley needs to prove herself to the Queen. Boom, Nia Jax, and there you go. Stop writing high school plays and give them material that sounds like real people talking. Also, I hated that they completely forgot that Bayley and Sasha were best friends. Maybe Bayley could have been angry or somewhat emotional over the fact that Charlotte tried to end Sasha less than 24 hours ago in that epic first ever Women's Hell in a Cell main event. As far as the match is concerned, I'm actually going to give it 2 3/4 stars again. Aside from Jax's awkward position change and falling over herself at the end to make sure she could face the hard camera, that was good stuff as they worked the formula very well. Bayley works well with Jax, and once again, she did well with her in terms of...
Sorry to interrupt, Florio. It is official. We have a Game 7 tomorrow night as the Cubs have taken Game 6 9-3 as the final score.
All right, MF, give us the spot. You know you wanna.
And we will see you tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, boy. I cannot wait for tomorrow night. Before we get back to the Tony Steak, I think we should make a quick prediction on who wins Game 7 tomorrow night.
One word. Indians. Okay.
Just give me a moment.
We're going to do it like this. One word answer. Either Cubs or Indians. I don't want no lighter notes, none of that. One word answer. Bullock, who wins it?
I'm going with the Cubs to win this.
All right. Anthony Florio, what do you say? One word answer.
Cubs.
I got the Cubs as well. All right. Anthony, back to your Tony's take.
All right, back to the match. Bayley works well with Jax, and once again, she did well with her in terms of making her look like a monster. Also, Jax has more confidence working as a monster when she works Bayley. there is likely a lot of trust there. Bayley gave her a good fight, sold her offense better than anyone on the main roster so far. It makes you care when she gets beaten down. I still think that they could be using Bayley better, but she was great in her role here. So right now it stands as 5-on-3 as far as the women's match goes. I mean, the SmackDown Live team is all set. We already know it's going to be Nikki Bella. We know it's going to be Becky Lynch. We know it's going to be Alexa Bliss. We know it's going to be Carmella. And it's going to be Naomi with Natalya as their quote-unquote coach, if you will. Which I think which I'm going to be real honest, is a trifle unnecessary, if I'm going to be real honest. But it is a good way, but at least they're utilizing Natty, which I think is a good thing. Because she's been so underutilized, it's not funny. And then on the other side of the coin, as far as Team Red goes, we've only got 3. And that's Charlotte, Bayley, and Nia Jax. 2 spots left. I think those 2 spots are going to go to Dana Brooke and Sasha Banks. And that's going to make for an interesting dynamic. So that's all I can say on that. So, okay, then we had a tag team match. We had Sheamus and Cesaro pulling double duty because they were both in that battle royal earlier in the evening. They went up against the Shining Stars. Of course, Sheamus and Cesaro won it. 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Sheamus with the cloverleaf submission hold for the win. I'm going to give it a solid 2 stars. Sheamus and Cesaro picked up the needed win in a solid but heatless effort. Does anyone remember the Shining Stars beating Enzo and Cass for some odd reason? Yeah, me neither. And then we go to the main event of the evening. For the United States Heavyweight Championship, champion Roman Reigns defending against Chris Jericho, winner of the match in 15 minutes and 55 seconds via a disqualification, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. This, to me, was the fight of the night. 3.25 stars. Overall, a good main event. After a rough start to the year in the ring, Jericho seems to be rejuvenated and is not only a ton of fun out of the ring, but is more motivated in the ring these days. The DQ is fine here, as it allows for Jericho to challenge again down the line, and it also set up the post-match angle. Enter Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins Jericho and Owens, they were a 2-on-1 beatdown of Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins comes out for the save. I really enjoyed this post-match angle. The crowd wanted Rollins, and they got him. He got to make the big save, and Reigns rightfully looked at him with uncertainty, questioning his motivation. Reigns has no reason to trust him at this point because there is too much history between them. But this was a good first step in setting up the two coming together with a common goal and common enemies. The next step will be to see if Reigns returns to favor and saves Rollins in the same situation. I have read a dirt sheet. I came across a dirt sheet recently, or it might have been late last night. There is a possibility that WWE is possibly teasing, keep in mind teasing, possibly for one night only, some form of a Shield reunion. And all the elements are there. Reigns is on Team Raw. You have to imagine Seth Rollins is going to take the last spot on Team Raw. And you've got Dean Ambrose, who's going to be on Team Smackdown Live. So there is a possibility we could get a Shield reunion here. And if that happens, oh boy, Bizarro Land, Toronto, Canada, is going to go absolutely ape crazy, if you know what I mean. So overall thoughts on this? I'm going to give it between 6 and 6.5 out of 10. After a rough start, Raw turned into a rock-solid show with the brand now past Hell in a Cell and finally starting their part of the build to the Survivor Series battle with SmackDown Live. So, and I'll tell you what, when Michael Bullock and I did our little casual Raw chat last night, we actually enjoyed the show. It wasn't exactly the best show out there, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs, and we also enjoyed some of the events that went down. So, well done, Monday Night Raw. One of the better Raws we've seen in a while. I mean, they still have work to do, of course. I mean, they're nowhere in SmackDown Live's league, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, for the first time in a while, I can actually say it was a halfway decent show. Well done. All right, now we're going to move on to Impact Wrestling from last week as part of this special. As part of Ridiculously Raw invading SmackDown Live, Cerebral Smack Talk, rather. We started it off with a tag team match We had Ethan Carter III and Jesse Goddard going up against Eli Drake and the Impact Grand Champion Aaron Rex. The winners of the match, in 14 minutes and 30 seconds, Eli Drake and Aaron Rex with a pinfall. Aaron Rex using a foreign object to knock out Jesse Goddard for the win. 1, 2, 3, and Eli Drake and Aaron Rex pick up a big win. I'm going to be real honest with you. This was my fight of the night. Solid 3 stars. In a way, there was nothing special to it, but that's why it succeeded. It was a good and strong basic tag with the heels isolating the faces and working a good heat, and the pacing was strong. Goddard's losing and getting screwed. The taped up rings on Rex's fingers, according to commentary, again by Rex, also worked well. Well done. Then we had an in-ring segment with Grado and Robbie E. You know what? I'm going to be real honest with you. I am not even going to dignify this with a response because it was hot monkey garbage. I mean, this would have been perfect for Monday Night Raw. So that's really all I can say about it. But there was a DCC beatdown, so I was okay with that. So I'm not even going to bother commenting. I'm sorry about that, but I'm sorry. If I see a segment that I think is hot monkey garbage, I'm not even going to dignify it. Let's get into something I will dignify, though. A tag team match, a 6-man tag team match as part of the X Gold concept. DJZ, the X Division champion, teaming up with Mandrews and Braxton Sutter. They went up against Rockstar Spud and his 2 mystery partners, The Decay, Abyss, and Crazy Steve. Winners of the match in 4 minutes and 5 seconds, DJZ, Mandrews, and Braxton Sutter. A DJZ with a ZDT on Crazy Steve, and that was the win. Well, actually, I was on Rockstar Spud, rather. Solid 2 stars. I do have some gripes here, though. Are they ever going to really explain what Team X Gold is? They are matches of X Division talent, are they matches of X Division talent or former X Division champions? They have to stay as teams. Rules are strictly enforced, and what? Why are they fighting? What's the goal? Are there brackets? Is there a point system? We know none of this important information. The match was fine, nothing more, nothing less. Then we had a contract signing for a World Heavyweight Championship match. Eddie Edwards with Bobby Lashley. This was to set up their World Heavyweight Championship match for next week's Impact Wrestling broadcast. While Edwards was rough at times, he was overall good here. Lashley was great, and I felt that they did a good job of setting the stage and advancing the story without the crutch of the contract signing beatdown that always seems to happen. This, to me, was my segment of the night. Then we had, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of Halloween stuff with the Broken Hardys, which was freaking awesome. I'm going to tell you that right now. Then we had a knockouts match. Laurel Van Ness going up against Allie. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 45 seconds via a curve stomp move. Laurel Van Ness wins the bout. I'm going to give it a solid 2 stars. Technically, the wrestling was nothing special. It was never bad, but awkward. Awkward in the way it needed to be, since Allie is, quote unquote, not a wrestler. Not every match has to be great, as long as the story is advanced, and that happened here. Allie has become a great sympathetic character. I just hope that they can pay it off. This worked well as the next step of the story, as she stood up for herself while Van Ness was the unlikable bully. As Allie said earlier, she got her ass kicked, but this was something the character needed to do. And then we had the main event of the evening. Mixed tag team match, intergender match, whatever you want to call it. Cody and Brandy Rhodes against the Miracle Mike Bennett and his wife Maria Kanellis Bennett. Winners of the match in 11 minutes and 30 seconds via a pinfall. Cody and Brandy Rhodes win the match. I'm sorry, this was the worst fight of the night. Yeah. Where do I start? This was not a good match. They worked 95% with Cody and Mike because Maria is not a good wrestler and because Brandy has limited training. While she initially trained with WWE to be a wrestler, she was transitioned to a ring announcer and just recently started to train again. The Mike and Cody stretch was extremely bland. It had no emotion or intensity to it. Their singles match was much better in that regard. This was just there killing time. And then Brandy tagged in, and with all due respect, she was not any good at all. Her strikes were poor. She had positioning issues. Her submission at the end was not done well, and she came off as someone who had little to no clue as to what she was doing in the ring. Watching her and Maria try to work spots was painful and at sometimes embarrassing. 1 star is all I can give it. We got a pretty loaded show next week. 3 championship matches. The DCC, those masked men, they're going to be challenging the Broken Hardys for the World Tag Team Championship. We're also going to have Aaron Rex defend his Grand Championship against Jesse Goddard. And in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, Eddie Edwards to defend against challenger and former multi-time champion Bobby Lashley. It's going to be great. Overall thoughts on this show, 6.5 out of 10. If you take out the Grado segment in the main event, you have a really fun and enjoyable show. The Hardy Halloween stuff was fun, had some legit laughs, and even built to a match. I liked the alley angle. They kept EC3 and Eli Drake going, and they also built to some matches for next week. Not a bad show, all things considered. It just lacked something, and that main event was a very rough way to close the show. It needed more treat or delete, or just delete the main event. And if I had it my way, I would have deleted that main event, because that main event was, oh Lord, you want to talk about hot monkey garbage? That was hot monkey garbage. I am not going to lie to you folks. So 6.5 out of 10 for that edition of Impact Wrestling from last week. Like I said, coming up, ooh, oh my Lord in heaven, are we going to have some fun? I already told you what we're going to get for you got those three championship bouts, the DCC and the Broken Hardys for the tag belts, Aaron Rex and Jesse Goddard for the Impact Grand Championship, and then in the main event, of course, Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I believe we're also going to have we're going to have Rex, and there are some other things that I do need to address. There are some other things that I do have to address before we give it to MF for the Mikey's Mindset, rather. An in-ring segment with Eli Drake and Ethan Carter III, and you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. An interesting segment from what I'm reading. And then we're going to have another one of those X-Gold matches. DJ Z, Braxton Sutter, and Mandrews against Marshe Rockett, Trevor Lee, and Andrew Everett. Well, actually, it was a 3-way match, I beg your pardon. DJ Z, Braxton Sutter, and Mandrews against Marshe Rockett, Trevor Lee, and Andrew Everett, along with Rockstar Spud and The Decay. And then we're going to have an interesting in-ring segment with Brandy Rhodes and Bobby Lashley. That's going to be an interesting segment. And then, of course, the Hardys and the DCC, and then Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley for the World Heavyweight Championship. So should be a solid Impact Wrestling on Thursday night. Impact, check it out, 8 o'clock, Pop Television. So I think I pretty much spoken my piece. So thanks again to the producers for allowing me to have my say on this as Ridiculously Raw invades Cerebral Smack Talk. But don't worry, folks. It's not going to be an every week occurrence. It's for 1 week only. So with that being said, now let's move on to the rightful main event of this show, the Mikey's Mindset, with the one and only good old MF Michael Fletcher. So MF, a Mikey's Mindset, Ring of Honor, and Lucha Underground. I'm very curious to see what you have to say about both shows.
All right, let's start off with the Lucha Underground guys. We started the night off with Marty the Moth Martinez. Yeah, that creepy dude who likes to harass Melissa Santos. As much, Marty, one of these days, you're going to get a fist in the face, and it's going to be from my fist connecting with your face. Stop and lay off the baby girl. I mean it. So he goes one-on-one with, by far, maybe another one of the most sexiest women on Lucha Underground. The baddest biatch around in the temple, Eva Lee's boys. She is a former Gift of the Gods champion, but at the end of the day, Marty the Moth Martinez won the match, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 1 3/4 stars. I'm going to give this. This was not a good opener. It felt off. It never got a constant groove. I kept hoping that they would click, but it never did. Striker and Vampiro were doing their intergender is awesome, and the women can do anything. As soon as she lost, yeah, guess not. They did not come off as believable. For example, Marty's not a 300-pounder. I get exaggerating and all, but it's wrestling. I mean, you want it to be believable on some kind of level. Also, this is not a setup for a feud with Ivelisse and her man. Yet, why didn't Mariposa get involved in this fight? Cost Ivelisse the match, then do a beatdown and a run-in. Ivelisse lost this fight, lost this fight clean. I mean, did she really need to be screwed over? Then bent down? Oh boy, you know what? Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But the post fight was actually interesting because actually Ivelisse's boyfriend showed up. The former Sammy Callan. He showed up. I believe he's going by the name of Jeremiah now, but he hit the ring. He jumped. He basically cleaned out the ring. So, well, we'll wait and see what happens there. Interesting to see. All right. Next fight we had was this was the second of the best of 5 series for the Ultimate Opportunity. The man they call Cage goes 1-on-1 with Triple A's Mega Copion, Tejano Jr. The winner of the bout was Tejano Jr. at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. 3.5 stars for me, the fight of the night. I really enjoyed this as both guys came off better working, hard-hitting, spirited match. They worked through their strengths and kept a great pace. While the ending was a little anticlimactic, it was really enjoyable. I really liked this. I really loved it. It was amazing. Then, in the main event, it was Johnny Mundo as he got an opportunity to fight for the Gift of the Gods Championship against the reigning champion, Sexy Star, the winner of the bout via a pinfall at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And the new Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods champion, Johnny Mundo. He wins the title. Oh boy. Guys, I'm going to say it. This sucked. This was horrible. I mean, for this to be your main event of the evening, this was a complete and utter disaster. This was like TNA booking bad. I'm perfectly fine with the heels cheating to win if they do. But this ended up being an embarrassment as a main event. The early part of the fight was not even good. They couldn't. Then a consistent run of outside interference where the referee bumps killed any momentum of the enjoyment I had for the match. When it was all said and done, this did nothing for me, and I absolutely hated it. For me, this show was a 4.5 to 5 out of 10. To me, the worst episode of this entire season. It was with a rough opening, a horrific main event. The only fight that was actually good was the second fight, which was the best of 5 series. Other than that, this was hot monkey garbage and deserves to be thrown away. I'm sorry. I hated it beyond words. All right. So let's shift gears, guys. Let's get into the Ring of Honor, and we're going to hit you guys up with this. So it started out with a tag team match. It was 2 guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shiro Tanaka and Yoshi Kasumi as they go up against Cole Cabana, who used to be CM Punk's former best friend and one of the most popular guys in Ring of Honor today, Dalton Castle with the boys. Boys, let's go break some hearts. Well, when it was all said and done, it was Dalton Castle and Cole Cabana with the victory. 5 minutes and 25 seconds, 2-star fight. I liked it. I thought it was a good match. You know, I'm gonna be real honest with you. This was a dominating win for Castle and for Cabana, which on one hand is fine because they are top contenders for the tag team titles, but it does hurt because this was a glorified enhancement, guys. Here, they never really got any substance. The hot tag near the end, the structure felt a little lazy. They could have done something better than this. It kind of felt very TNA-like, or even some of the tag team fights that you see in WWE nowadays. There wasn't really anything amazing about it. All right. So next up, was Jonathan Grisham going one-on-one with Kyle O'Reilly. The winner of the bout at 8 minutes and 6 seconds was Kyle O'Reilly via pinfall. 2 3/4 of a star. This was a very good match overall, but it kind of got hit on neutral. I mean, it was a good, solid fight. I mean, it did have its good moments. It just never really got off the ground, and it never really exploded to something that I thought was going to be even better. But, it is what it is, and I'll leave it at that. Then the next thing we had was Punisher Martinez and BJ Whitmer versus Will Ferrara and Cheeseburger. The winners of the bout in 4 minutes and 5 seconds was Punisher Martinez and BJ Whitmer. This was at least a half star for me. I'm sorry. This was a glorified squash. I'm not going to take too much time on that. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to let it be, and we'll go on to the next thing, which was our main event of the evening, which was Naito and Evil versus the Motor City Machine Guns. The winners of the bout was Naito and Evil. This was a solid but disappointing main event, devoid of the intensity and energy. And Naito was largely the night off mode. It just never really got off the crowd. The crowd didn't really care too much about this fight. I was hoping for something better, and it was about 2.5 stars. So I'm not gonna be too over about it. 6 out of 10 is my rating for it. It was a solid show, but nothing spectacular. Nothing that really was like, wow, this was a great show. None of the action really took anything amazing about this show. So that's it, guys. We're done. So Thursday night is another edition of College Football Thursday. We got a big show ahead of us because not only now we got the NFL, we got the college football rankings and schedule, we got the power poll, plus, and I do believe we might do this, Anthony, myself, and Mike Bullock will dive in because tonight they announced the college football playoff rankings, and we will possibly get into this and get our initial reactions to it. And I'll tell you one thing, I think there's a lot of shock at the 4 teams that are in it, even though 3 teams are no big surprise. The 4th one, though, it's probably got a lot of people not happy right now. I think a lot of people are a wee bit angry at the committee because of what they have done. We'll get into that Thursday. Friday is NFL Friday. Anthony Floyer will host that as well. We are going to talk about all the coverage for the NFL, the week. We got a power ranking as well. Nothing Saturday. Nothing Sunday, Monday, we got Ridiculously Raw. Anthony will be hosting that. Tuesday, right now we're penciled in, but the reason why I'm saying we might want to hold on because we might get bumped off here because it'll be election night next week. But if there is, because here's the thing, if we do get bumped off, I think Derek might throw the bone at us and let us do what Florio did tonight. We'll wait and see on the next Monday. Or they might let us do it on election night. If that's true, if we do it on election night, that means I will be on election watch. If any polls close, if I can declare a winner and a president of the United States at that moment, I will do it live on the show next week. Of course, it's also a big Monday night, big SmackDown live show because it's from Glasgow, Scotland. We'll wait and see. So with that said, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am good old MF Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Have a good night. So long for now, and we will see you on Thursday.